It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I think you can see the joy, the pride in my face as I get to sit down with our next guest right now. He is someone that South Africa knows well because of the work that he has done here on behalf of the South African people. International speaker and book author and just wonderful human being. Prem Rawat is in Cape Town as part of his world tour, and you have an opportunity to connect with him. So for over 5 decades now, Prem Rawat has been engaging audiences with his message ultimately of peace and hope. And during this time in Cape Town, Rawat will be working with gangs, with schools, with individuals to promote peace and encourage personal fulfillment. And he is here with us this morning to reconnect and have a chat about the world, this crazy world. Prem, thank you so much for making us a part of your whistle-stop tour.
It's a pleasure.
I've got to ask, first of all, the last time I saw you, it was a different world.
Yes,
a very different world, motivated by different emotions, by different realities. Now, it feels like purpose is what's driving us. How are you in this new reality we find ourselves in?
Well, I am fine. I did see the change. I saw a big change because before COVID, the world really relied on itself. It was all its technology, all of this and that. And nothing bad will ever happen to us. Fires, yes, and floods, yes, and we need to do this and we need to do that. And then COVID hit. And nobody was ready for it.
No.
I mean, no one was ready for it. And it was such a slap across the face because the technology wasn't gonna help. Nothing was gonna help. You had to wear a mask. You had to isolate. You had to stay home. And here's the kicker. So you bought a home and you were excited because this was going to be your nest, your place where you could be. Yeah. And you were told, don't leave it. And all of a sudden, you can't stand the thought of being at home, but you have to be. And so there were so many these contradictions everywhere, and humanity was caught in it. And I was in the midst of it, and guess what? I was traveling. And in 20, I came to South Africa. I was in Brazil. I was going everywhere I could, just narrowly missing the bands as well as I could, connecting with people, and still in that time telling people, don't lose hope. Who you are is more than the sum of all of this that is problematic around you.
And therein lies the solution. We've become individuals again.
Exactly.
The notion of peace and hope has changed for me. I used to think hope was a gift that you were given. It's something that you strive for. It's something that you foster and grow. Now, you've made this your life journey. Whether you had a choice in that or not, I often think to myself. But you've been able to connect with people on an emotional level in a way that few have. I know recently you read a chapter of your book, Hear Yourself, to 114,000 people. What is a moment of connection like that experienced? How do you feel when you are in that moment connecting on that level to so many people? Because it speaks to what we all want now, is that authentic, real connection.
Well, one thing I will have to say is that every morning that I wake up, I know I have a choice. I can do this or not do this.
I love that.
And I have to choose. I know I want to choose this. This is my choice. I want to talk about peace. And when this opportunity came to do a Guinness World Record, it was an amazing feeling because everybody was sitting there and yet everything went dead quiet just to hear what this book had to say. And it was an exhilarating moment because it is always incredible to talk about peace, to awaken the possibility that exists inside every single human being. I mean, whatever we see ourselves in the box that we see ourselves in.
The coding, yeah.
Yes, we're much bigger than that box. And we all are unjustly limiting ourselves to all of these things. This is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. But there's much more going on. And what's going on is your heart is crying out for peace. Your being is crying out to be fulfilled. That's what it's about.
It's almost like the world forced us to make this to get to this gateway and go through it, because it's almost like as a species, if we're going to get through this, we're going to need to make some fundamental changes. I won't even go into AI or any of that with you right now. But there is an opportunity now, because the world feels more polarized than ever before, that maybe the peace conversation has a different angle now, more power, more momentum behind it. Why is it so important for you to hear yourself, for you to drive this message of peace right now?
Because people are turning from all that is outside to they're starting to acknowledge that they exist too, and that they are a part of their solution. You know, the way I look at it is there's 2 days you don't have any control over. The day you were born and the day you're gonna die. And all the days in between, you have something to say about it. You can make a difference. And I think people are starting to understand from the COVID experience that what they sit there and think about is important.
Yeah.
And it impacts their life. And not only does it impact their life, it impacts other people's lives. And so when the message of peace is brought forth to people, they now give it a year. Before it was like, no, it's never gonna happen.
In denial, yeah, for sure.
But now people are like, no, let me hear this. Let me hear the message of peace. Let me hear my potential, my life, my accomplishment for myself, not for this world.
I absolutely love that. As we have proven, I could literally sit with you for about 4 hours and continue this conversation as we have done in the past. You have given me what I needed to hear this morning in a personal journey. I've been struggling to explain this world as it is now to my son when weighing up all the fear. But there is strength in the individual. He is the solution to that problem, and all of us have that within us. Thank you so much for being that conduit. Thank you so much for investing so much time and resources financially and others in South Africa, because it has made a massive mark. I cannot wait to see the reaction on the people's faces as they get to connect with you and this movement that you've created. Prem, we absolutely love you on the show. Thank you so much for coming back to South Africa and making this a part of your global village. We love and appreciate you.
Really, it's always a pleasure. When the first time I came, I was 14 years old, 1972. I've been going at it, and here I am again to bring that message of hope. Because I have learned it doesn't all happen overnight, but it happens, and it is happening.
And we've just got to have the strength to see that through. We have Prem in our corner. The show is in your corner. There are people around you that want you to feel better, want you to succeed, want you to move into this beautiful new reality. And it starts with love, and it starts with that notion, a global notion of peace. Prem, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.